Hello, Luiginoids. This is LuigiXRules doing something a little different today. So, in case you weren't aware, today hopefully marks the 10th anniversary of this channel's creation, which is kind of a crazy thing to think about because, like, that means if this was started 10 years ago, that means I've been doing this for almost half of my life. Been posting content on this silly little platform. And so I'd like to start off by saying thank you to everyone who's tuned in. It really means a lot. I do this mostly as a hobby, and so just seeing anyone watch and enjoy my content fills me with joy. And so thanks again. But anyway, as for what we're doing in this video, you may have already gathered what we're doing. We're ranking every game I've ever featured on this channel. This covers, to what I've gathered, 41 games. There's a lot to get through, so let's just get started here. I'm just warning you, by the way, there's some games... Oh yeah, one thing about the tier list you may have noticed is that there's no F tier. That's because I don't think there's a single game of feature on the channel that belongs in F tier. It's very hard to make something F tier, if you ask me, so... There's none of that. Yes, even you may see a sneak peek of something, even that's not F tier, but there's also an S+, just to separate the games I feel much more passionately about. And there's a haven't played in too long to still have an opinion of it. There's a very specific game that we're gonna get to very shortly. That is the reason that I have this tier. So why not we get started here? Our first game here is Minecraft. So yeah, when I first began this channel, I just posted a couple videos on first Minecraft Pocket Edition, and if you listen to the videos, it was literally, I was at like a Thanksgiving meetup with family at the time, and so I was literally recording it in the middle of that and just decided to post it, and yeah, and so we started off with Minecraft Pocket Edition. It eventually developed into Java Edition. I mean, there was no Bedrock Edition when I started. I don't believe there was, at least. But I will admit I don't play Minecraft much anymore. I mostly just watch content on it these days, but I mean, where else can this legendary game go but S tier? I mean, it's one of... I wouldn't say it's S+ tier, personally speaking, but it has to be at least S tier for how much fun it is to just... It's funny too, because I don't really like games where like you have to look everything up, necessarily, but something about Minecraft is just the complete creative freedom you get in creative mode, and then all the... I don't know, it's just a really fun game. I guess it's hard for me to describe, and you'll see that to be a trend throughout this ranking, as I have trouble voicing my opinion, so this will be fun. Okay, next up is Terraria, and this is eligible because I posted one video around the time of my channel's creation. And fun fact about this video, I did not think that it uploaded properly. I think there were actually like something like 5 videos I recorded on this game, maybe just 2. But I recorded them and I uploaded the first one, but I thought there was like a problem with uploading it, and so I didn't upload the rest of them, but then I checked months later and hey, this video actually does exist. I really only played Terraria at the time because my friend at the time was, like, he introduced me to a lot of interesting games at the time, and so Terraria was one of them, and I'll be honest, since I first played Terraria for this channel, I haven't really played it since. I will admit that at the time I really just did view it as 2D Minecraft, and I know people get really upset when you say that, but I mean, I probably still have the game on Steam somewhere if I look hard enough that I could try again, but I just haven't played it. And so it is literally the reason I invented this haven't played in too long to still have an opinion of it tier, because I played it once 10 years ago, and I don't remember how I felt. Alright, next up is a fairly contentious game here. It is Mario and Luigi Dream Team. This is the first series that I recorded on this camcorder thing before I had a way to record the screen of my 3DS. And so I just sat a camcorder on my lap and just pointed it at my 3DS, and I just played it that way. It was so ridiculous. It led to some very crazy looking things. I could probably look back at the footage and see my old room, because we've moved houses since then. Okay, but that's a side tangent. Let's talk about the game itself. I love Mario and Luigi Dream Team. I think it is my favorite in the series, spoiler alert, I guess, because I did feature more than just this game on this channel. It is incredible. Yes, it has pacing issues. Yes, it's a little slow to play, not nearly as much as a different game we'll be getting to later, but I love it. I love the characters. I love these days now I can appreciate how it references other games throughout the series, and it's not the first Mario and Luigi game I played, but I think I do have more nostalgia with this one over all of them. And so I think that nostalgia is carrying it all the way into S tier. Yeah, I still acknowledge it has enough problems that it doesn't belong in S+, but oh man, it is so much fun, and all the different, I love how it uses the like gyro, and the hiking boots is absolutely my favorite part of the game, where it literally takes the steps off of your pedometer. There we go, I couldn't think of the word. It literally takes the steps off of your pedometer and adjusts your attack based on that. I think that's just incredible. And then there's the birthday stuff, and oh my god, there's so much to love about it. But we need to move on. Next up is a game I was so excited for around the time it came out, and that is Super Mario Maker. This game was an interesting one because again, I didn't have screen recording at the time. I mean, I had it for, like, my computer, but I didn't have it for consoles like the Wii U, so I again sat my camcorder down and just recorded the TV I was playing it on. And it was so weird, especially this one, for specifically Super Mario Maker 1, all I really did was showcase a couple of my levels that I created. That was in a series called Yoshi's Story. I thought I called it that specifically because, to distinguish it from Yoshi's Story, but I think that game might actually be called Yoshi's Story, and I think people were disappointed at the time because they thought it was actually going to be Yoshi's Story levels, but no, it was my own campaign for it. But okay, about the game as a whole, I loved it at the time, but I inevitably, whenever I play both this game and its sequel, maybe there's another sequel announced by the time this comes out, but inevitably I always get tired of playing it after a while. I don't know what it is. I just put it down usually after a bit. The level creation I often put down very early because that's pretty time consuming, and my levels weren't ever the best things in the world. And so these are always like, this is a textbook example of a fad kind of game, and I think all these fad games go in B tier, but not exclusively fad games either. So let's move on to the next game, The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. This is the first Zelda game I ever played. Didn't have any of the DS ones, even though I had a DS. Didn't have any of the Wii ones, even though I had a Wii. Of course, I have one now, but yeah, this game introduced me to the Zelda series, and I love this game. You know, it's a little funny, actually, because thinking about it, it actually doesn't do what I like, because I like my games to be a little more streamlined and linear, and something about the way this game is, like, I don't know, it was unique to me, I guess, because it was a more explorative game than ones I had normally played. And so I guess I liked the sense of freedom I got from it, which might seem funny because I'll be talking about exploration in a very different context later on, but for now, I like the more limited style that this game had, where it let you take on the dungeons in the second half of the game in any order. You can get the items in any order you want. I loved how you collect the Mai and you can get upgrades. I'm wondering if I probably don't even have applicable footage of this because I only recorded 3 episodes of this Let's Play. I think I may have recorded more and then didn't finish. I don't know why I didn't finish it, but I think I should go back and probably start this Let's Play over now that I have higher quality recording stuff. Anyway, I think I would put this game in A tier because while the item rental system is cool, it is kind of lame how you do lose the items after every time you die and you have to go back and get them every single time. And also, well, I thought I had another point, but I can't remember it, but that might be the only thing that's keeping it out of S tier. I guess the other thing is I wish that they forced you to use combination of items more, but I guess that it's not really good with the design of the world. Anyway, next up is a very interesting game to me. It is Jacksmith, specifically on Cool Math Games. Back when that was a thing. Do people still play on that? After Flash is gone, I think they had to convert a bunch of these Flash games into running on some Flash emulator or something, but do people still use that? Wasn't it crazy? I don't know, is that still a thing for kids these days where they let us in our computer class in like elementary school play on it because it was labeled Cool Math Games? It's so crazy. But yeah, Jacksmith is, I think it's an incredible game. If you don't know any of the like Papa's Gamerias, it's made by the same people that made them. I think it's like a more involved version of that, because not only do you just make weapons, which are much more varied than the just like single recipes you make, or not single recipes, but single items that you make, but I also think that because you get to use, like, you get to participate in the combat as well, I think also makes it really good. And I think this is actually the first Let's Play I ended up finishing as well, like having a proper finale on it. Man, I just remembered I even created a whole book with all the custom epic weapons, but yeah, that's enough about this game, I think. It's not S tier, come on, it's not nearly good enough for that, but man, I love this game. And I still go back to it sometimes, just to play like the campaign again, and I have a blast every single time. I love it. Alright, next up is Mario Kart 8. You may notice it's not 8 Deluxe, just 8 on the Wii U. And that's because I only featured this video as my 100th video special as a channel update a long time ago. Oh man, that's, yeah, we're over 1,000, maybe even over 2,000. No, it's probably just over 1,000 at this point, so that's, wow, crazy to think how far we've come. But anyway, Mario Kart 8, terrific game. I forget, this is probably after all the DLC came out. I can't remember if we had the DLC at the time, because I remember my brother bought the DLC, but for some reason that opened it up on all of our accounts, so we got to play that. Anyway, I just talked about the game, and this is a great game. I think it's an A tier as well. Probably in between these two games. I don't think it's S tier. I mean, it's not 8 Deluxe. I mean, it doesn't have that crazy battle mode, plus the 48 other tracks. Maybe it is S tier, but I'll just leave it there. We can always rearrange stuff later. Okay, next up on the list is Bloons Tower Defense 5. How long has Bloons TD5 been out? That's been the thing for a while. That thing's still getting updates. I swear, I just saw a video today recommended to me that was about an update to the game. But yeah, this was TD5. I believe it was before TD6 was even a thing. I played this game because I remembered loving TD3 on, once again, Cool Math Games. So I wanted to try this newer version of it and get to experience all of the upgrades that they added, like the Temple of the Monkey King. Before, it was just the Super Monkey was the greatest thing. There weren't any upgrades to it like that. But yeah, unfortunately, this was just a couple videos that I did a long time ago. That was just like 1 or 2 maps for the game. There's not really much to say about it. This one, I unfortunately think I also have to put in the haven't played it in too long to still have an opinion of it. I feel like it's just not right for me to rank it up against all these other games I remember so well and I've played more recently, when this one, I feel like I couldn't place it properly, so I'm just gonna have to leave it down here. Hey, next up is my first experience playing the first Legend of Zelda. This was over some program called Zelda Classic, and I did 2 videos on it before once again dropping it. I did that a lot back in the day, where I just started Let's Plays and then never finished them. I mean, since there were only 2 videos, there wasn't much time for me to form an opinion on it, but now I have since played the game a little more, and I can say that I like it. Just a bit. It's a little... I'll say I haven't finished the game yet. I've only played it a bit. What's funny about my most recent playthrough is that I ended up doing Dungeon 1 and then Dungeon 3. And then it took me a while to find Dungeon 2, but from what I've played, it's kind of difficult, but it's almost like a fun kind of difficult, which to me is really weird because I'm the opposite of most people, where I tend to think that easy is good, hard is bad, but of course too easy is not good. That's just boring. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention how this game is the fun kind of difficult as contrasted by its sequel, Zelda 2, which is very much not the fun kind of difficult. I also think that Link to the Past is the fun kind of difficult, but that hasn't been featured on the channel yet, so I can't rank it. Next up is Pokémon Moon. This is the first Pokémon game I featured on this channel. This is a franchise I hadn't gotten too much into yet. I loved and still love watching content on it, just like Minecraft actually, I guess. I love watching content on the game, but I don't play much of it. At least on the channel. I play quite a bit in my spare time. I've played all of the generations since Gen 6. So I had only played one Pokemon game before this. I actually ended up featuring it on my channel later. This is my first experience on this channel with Pokemon, and unfortunately I also think I have to put it in the haven't played it in too long to still have an opinion of it. I just don't remember how I felt about the game. I did get Ultra Moon later on, and I think I liked it, but I feel like regular Moon is just one that I didn't form a strong enough opinion on while playing it in order to think about it. So sorry there wasn't much to say about this. I know people love Alola. I quite like that they use like the name of the region as the greetings and stuff. I do like some stuff about it, but I can't remember everything. I can't remember enough for me to feel comfortable ranking it with everything else. Now, next up is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This is going to be the first major upset, I think, of the tier ranking. I mean, we had maybe Dream Team was a bigger upset, but nah, I'm kidding. I think it's actually B tier, but I don't know, man. This game is very, very confusing to me. As I've said during, or as I like briefly mentioned and then retracted during Link Between Worlds, I tend to not actually like open world exploration games much. Link Between Worlds, I feel like is more of an exception because it's a little smaller scale and doesn't give you too many objectives to go for at once. Plus the dungeons are really fun in this game. Breath of the Wild, though, it's, yeah, a huge open world exploration game. I just don't like it. It's too big. As someone that likes to complete games, it was just too overwhelming for me. And I mean, obviously I want to put it in B tier, and I think I liked it more than Super Mario Maker and the first Zelda, but I can't put it any higher. I know people love heralding it as the best Zelda game of all time and stuff, but I simply don't have as positive of an opinion on it. I will say I liked it a lot better after I finally got to my first Divine Beast on stream, but oh man. Oh yeah, I gotta tell that story, how I was doing a Let's Play on this game, camcorder era still, so have fun with this footage, but there was a point where I think I never even uploaded this video, actually. I got to a shrine where I needed like to blow up some fire, like light something on fire, and I thought I needed to grab something flammable from outside of the shrine, so then I went outside of the shrine to find it, and then I never picked it up again until the streams, because I wasn't having fun. But of course, I have since played through it all the way, gotten all the shrines, or beaten all the shrines, beat like all the DLC and stuff, so So I've completed it, and I can say I overall do like it. Now, for one of my favorite franchises ever, the Pikmin franchise. I did a whole stream series on this a bit, up to the release of Pikmin 4, but we won't be talking about that. We're talking about the first Let's Play I did on this game. Pikmin 1. You might notice it's the Wii Play Control version. This game, whoops, sorry, don't let that fool you, is also B tier because unfortunately, or maybe it should be A tier, but under Jacksmith. Nah, I think I like it more than those two. Problem with Pikmin 1 is that it's way too short. It's really fun for when you're playing it, but I feel like I can't put it in S tier because it's just too short. Actually, fun fact about this game and its sequel, my brother actually asked for them for Christmas, but never played them. So I got to reap the rewards of it for this channel too. Yeah, loved it. Weird Mode and Nunchuck is still the optimal way to play Pikmin. Although I guess I haven't really played it on GameCube, so I don't really know how that is. I haven't played the Switch remake either, so I've heard that they fixed stuff like corpse crushing, maybe. That was a huge issue. Oh yeah, that's the other thing about Pikmin, is that there's a lot of glitches and stuff. I feel like I do like Jacksmith more than this game. I don't know, this is a tough one. But I think I'll leave it there for now. Let's talk about its sequel, Pikmin 2. Once again, Wii version. This game is... This is one of the most mixed, I feel, on a game, because it's fun, but it is also really freaking unfair. Like, it is so unfair. In fact, I think I want to put it here. Maybe here. Because why is it so trolly, man? Just throwing stuff at you, making stuff fall from the sky, bomb rocks, even heckin' bull bears, play the clip.
I had to say it. A bull bear falls from the sky! What kind of level even is this? A bull bear that falls from the sky!
One of my favorite clips of the channel, man. I still reference it all the time. Besides that, I do think it's overall pretty fun. I like how it has a whole challenge mode. The ship is a fun character. But man, is it super duper trolly. And that really deteriorates my experience with it. Alright, next up, Mario Tennis Aces. This is the first game I ever streamed on this channel. I believe it was in the middle of my Pikmin 2 Let's Play. I decided to stream it. Stream a game for the first time. And it was Mario Tennis Aces, which I think... Oh, did I have... I definitely had Ultra Smash. Did I have the 3DS version yet? I can't remember. So this wasn't my first Mario Tennis, but it was my first time trying it on the channel, and I think actually at this point I had screen recording. I think that's possibly why I chose to stream something, was like it was my first time streaming, and so I decided to just make it Mario Tennis Aces. Let's try it. There's a whole campaign mode. That sounds pretty cool. The problem is, it wasn't actually that cool. I got super bored of it. It was kind of frustrating, especially the rally challenges where they complained when you lost, even when it was their fault. But I legit ended stream early because I just wasn't having fun with the game. The problem with this game is that I found my strategy revolved around breaking their rackets instead of actually winning tennis, which wasn't the most fun. And so I think this is the first game to fall into D tier. I don't know, man. It's just not my cup of tea. I will say I am kind of excited for Mario Tennis Fever. I love how they're introducing a bunch of wonder mechanics to it, which I feel like is something they didn't really do with Odyssey, so I'm glad they're going back to it. But next up, Pikmin 3, Wii U. I don't care what you say. It's S+. This is one of my favorite games of all time, man. I freaking love Pikmin 3, man. I know, I get it, it's easy. It's short, actually. You think my complaint for Pikmin 1 is that it's short. I don't care. I have too much nostalgia for this game. Oh my god, it's so good. It's music. Honestly, Well, I say music is good, but I actually think it's one of the weaker Pikmin soundtracks, like, comparatively, because Pikmin 2 is so good. Actually, Pikmin 1's is pretty good, and even another game that we haven't covered yet is actually pretty solid as well. But no, it's the gameplay, man. I always loved how they used the cop pad or the gamepad as in-game and let you go here. I loved go here, man. It was so fun. It's also one of the videos that has performed the best on my channel. The guide for all data file locations video. That still gets quite a few views. I'm so happy that that's doing good. And so that's another reason why it deserves S+. I know, it's crazy seeing this game get the unique moniker of that, but I'm sorry, man. That's just my opinion. Alright, next up, Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. It's a little weird to, like, talk about this game on its own because it was actually Let's Played in conjunction with its sequel, Bowser's Inside Story plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey. Both of the games... So I mentioned that I grew up with Dream Team, but it wasn't my first Mario and Luigi game. Bowser's Inside Story was my first one. I love that one too. It was a little harder than Dream Team, of course, but I don't know, I kind of liked it, especially compared to the remake. We'll get to the remake soon. Let's just talk about the first one. First one is great, however... Nah, okay, I'll put it in S tier. The problem with this game is that there's some incredibly weird pacing decisions. Like, I realized that when you get to, like, Dimblewood, it's like... minigame, and then shortly afterwards, minigame, boss, and then another minigame, and then another boss. It's ridiculous, man. And then there's the, like, second half where, like, there's a whole outside of Bowser section, and the only bosses you fight are giant bosses as Bowser. And so, there's the huge gap of first Midbus, and then Blizzard Midbus is the next Bowser fight. It's ridiculous, if you ask me. And so... that's the reason it's not S+, and why I actually prefer Dream Team, is that there's some questionable design decisions with it. But, oh yeah, I didn't even mention that you get to play as Bowser. That's super sick and makes up for the other stuff. Now it's time to talk about the remake of this game, and... oh my god, there are so many. Like, where do I even start with this thing, dude? Oh my god, they wrecked so much of it. The music is mostly worse. And then, like, you know how they say Dream Team is slow? I think this one's also really slow for some reason. They changed all the BP mechanics. First of all, they changed SP to BP. That makes sense, whatever. But they made it so that attacks are easier to perform, but they also jacked up their BP prices as well. Same with, like, they made it so that BP is easier to restore. Okay, but they also jacked up the prices as well. And I swear they made them deal less damage too. Like, they adjusted the enemy stats, forcing you to use Bros attacks, which just feels slow now. And it's just such a slow game, and also doesn't look the best at times. I don't know, man. It drops the ball so hard. But what's keeping it out of even D tier, actually maybe that's not enough to keep it out of D tier now that I think about it, is Bowser Jr.'s Journey. Believe it or not, I am one of like 10 people on the planet that actually likes these modes. We'll talk about it a bit more in our dedicated thing down here, but Bowser Jr.'s Journey, I think, is actually saving this thing from F tier. I think that's a little harsh. I don't know if it's an F tier game even by itself, but I like it. I don't know. I like it. I will say that compared to the first Minion quest mode, it's kind of lame that there's less customization because you can't customize what, like, captain commands Bowser Jr. has. The only customization is what form he is and what first officer you have. Ludwig is OP. That's the one thing I will say is that I think that Bowser Jr.'s Journey also used the Koopalings, like some of the best we've ever seen, and it's one of the reasons why I think Ludwig is one of the best Koopalings, just because they used him so well. Honestly, made me appreciate Roy a little more, although I think Paper Jam also gave me some appreciation of him because of his dynamic with Wendy. I thought it was fun. I don't know, there's some great stuff in there. As one of my favorite puns I did as well, calling the Malatone Formula X Malatonin. But yeah, that's enough gushing about this game, I think. you might be wondering why, if I have such different opinions on it, why I decided to combine the two. And that's just because it is the same game at the end of the day. They're like two sub-games within a game, but I decided because I played both of them, I'll include them as one entry. Next up is Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. I think I have to immediately put this one probably here. I freaking loved this game as a child. This one really feels to me like it should belong, and I haven't played it in too long to still have an opinion of it, but no, I remember loving this game. I don't think it's quite S tier, especially compared to like its sequels that do more. Battle for Neighborville had some problems, but 2 was pretty much a straight upgrade. I played these games all the time, enough to where I thought I actually got pretty good at it, but anyway, let's step back a bit. Why is it even eligible for this? This is because I did one video on the game for, I think, Plants vs. Zombies 10th anniversary. It is one of the worst videos on the channel, super rushed because I initially had the day wrong on the 10th anniversary, so I had to rush it out to get it out real quick. Didn't even have the footage for one of the modes, which was horrible. But yeah, it was just a review of the game. I don't even remember what I said in the review. Maybe I should go watch that again. No, I remember it being pretty bad, so I don't want to torture myself like that. But the game itself, loved it. I was always Sunflower Scientist, especially Scientist. I loved being the healers. Maybe I should try Team Fortress 2 sometime. I hear a lot of people like that game. But yeah, very, very solid all around. Next up is the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake. It's the Switch version, as you can see by the image I got. This is eligible because I did a challenge video on this game. The first challenge video I ever did on this channel. And it got okay amount of views. One of my first positive comments. Didn't really start getting comments until this game, actually. Another reason why maybe I should bump it up to C a little. Look at a little bear, and maybe we'll get something there soon. But not this. This won't be there. I think Link's Awakening Switch is pretty good. They do a lot of great things with it. I think it's a great transformation of the game. It's a little weird that they charge full price for it. I think they should have charged like maybe $40, but it was also a ground up game, so I guess that explains it. People complain about the art style of it a lot. I simply disagree with that sentiment. I think the art style looks fine. In fact, I kind of think it looks cool, especially for like a dreamlike world like this, having it all, or having it be like a toy-themed thing. And I think it's really cool. I like how they added a bunch of pieces of heart. And, ooh, one of the big things about this game specifically is the chamber dungeons. People do not like the chamber dungeons, and I would have to say I disagree. I like the chamber dungeons, kind of. I will say, I liked it in concept. I didn't really like it in execution, because the main issue, why do they force staircases to link? Why can't you choose which staircases lead to what? There's so many combinations that could be possible, but they just don't let you. Also, why do they force you to collect every single chest, man? That part wouldn't even be that bad if it wasn't for the measly rewards you get, man. So it just feels like a chore to go through half the time. But I will say that I actually do like the concept of it being chambers. People complained about that a lot. I actually think that's a cool part of it, how they're specific chambers and you have to link them together and stuff, and some of it was almost like a puzzle, actually, to see how few rooms you could get it done in. And so there were some good aspects of it, but there were also some bad ones. Circling back to the fact that it was my first challenge video, it was the first thing I really put like this degree of effort into, so it holds a place in my heart for that. I would say I personally prefer it over Breath of the Wild, but I don't think it's the most fantastic thing in the world, so I'm gonna keep it in B tier. Speaking of B tier, probably is actually, this one, Minion Quest: The Search for Bowser. I'm just gonna keep it here so it's easy to see. You might notice it's not Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. It is specifically Minion Quest: The Search for Bowser, because I have not featured Superstar Saga on this channel, even though I pretended like I was going to. I'm like, psych, I'm actually playing Minion Quest. The only reason I really played Minion Quest actually was to provide context for Bowser Jr.'s journey, but People give this game a bad rap because they think, why am I just sitting back and watching the game play itself? And it's like, I don't know, man. I just disagree. I like it. In fact, yeah, I like it. There, it's B tier. People say it's too hands-off, and I'm like, nah, it's fine, man. Just gotta pay attention and use deny as much as possible. And I love the characters in it. Like, Captain Goomba's great. Captain Boo, Captain Shy Guy, all of them are great. Captain Koopa Troopa's kind of whatever, but he's introduced too late, I think, for him to really leave a lasting impression. This is also one of the first times we got to see some dialogue from the Koopalings, so that's also pretty sweet. Yeah, I enjoy it overall. I would even say I probably enjoy it more than that, but we'll just leave it at that for now. Okay, we finally made it to the game that you probably are shocked that I wouldn't put an F tier. But I'll just say right now, that's not the only shocking thing about it right now. Not only do I not think Sticker Star is the worst thing in the entire universe, not only that, but I don't even think it's bad. In fact, I even think it's good. In fact, this is real. I legit think this is real. Maybe even that. Let me think about this a little more. Let me try not to be too rash. Yeah, I think I'll leave it like that for now. Yeah, I like Sticker Star. People hate this game so much. And I would say I don't know why, but I do know why. But the problem for me is that the things that everyone complains about, it just doesn't bother me. And the biggest thing for me is the battle mechanics. People hate the battle mechanics, and I simply don't. I like the battle system in this game, and it's so hard for me to consider because, like, the problem with me is that I just disagree with everyone, and I just don't have... I really need to make a standalone video on why I like this game so much. Because I admit that even I don't know really why exactly I love this game so much. Or, like, I say love this game so much. No, I like it. If I love this game so much, I would put it in A and S. I admit that it doesn't deserve there. Like, let's not be ridiculous, but I do still enjoy my experience with it overall more than I enjoy my experience of Breath of the Wild. That is true. But yeah, I don't want to harp on this too long. I do like it, and I'll admit I do think it is overall the worst Paper Mario game, just taking everything into account. Let's switch gears to Origami King. This one's tough for me too, man, because I think objectively, I will agree that it's better than Sticker Star. Personally, I think I have more fun with Sticker Star, though, even over Origami King. I like the battle system and concept in Origami King. In practice, though, I just find it oddly demoralizing. Like, I like to think that I'm good at puzzles, but whenever I can't solve one of them, it just makes me feel really bad. And I do like the compromise they made with all the, like, shiny boots and iron boots and stuff, where they make them have durability now. I like that. That's a good way to do it. But the story's too dark for me. I think the Bobby stuff, I guess to avoid spoilers, because it's a pretty big one, I don't really care much for how they handled it. I want to put it in C tier. I'm gonna be honest, I want to put this in C tier, but I don't really think it deserves C tier. No, I think I'm going to put this in C tier. Just for now. Maybe I'll move it back up later. The partners, I think, are pretty useless because you want to kill all the enemies at once anyway, so having them there to deal extra damage doesn't really mean anything. The music in this game is absolutely fantastic, I will say that much. That might, in fact, yeah, that'll catapult it up into B tier, just for the music alone. That's fine. It's just too dark for me, overall. Alright, let's switch topics to another game that, honestly, I don't think anyone really talks about this game. Hey Pikmin. It was the first Pikmin game we had gotten in a long time. It was in the drought between Pikmin 3 and 4. It was right in the middle of it. And it was after they announced that Pikmin 4 was going to be a thing. And then they released this, and they're like, really, this is the Pikmin 4 we get? And so people were upset. I was confused why people were so upset about this, because I was like, what, it's obviously a spin-off. Like, you really think this is Pikmin 4? It's obviously a spin-off. Okay, enough about the context of it. What do I think of the game itself? Eh. People tend to hate on this game a little too much, if you ask me. This is one of few examples of a game, honestly with Sticker Star as well, that I think is a little overhated. Not necessarily underrated, just a little overhated. Like, I think it's one of the most meh games I've ever played. I kind of like it in concept. I actually think it can look rather nice at times, and I love the little, like, cutscenes with the Pikmin in them. I just think gameplay-wise, why do the Pikmin die just from running into an enemy? That's so bad, especially for when you're trying to go for the gold Pikmin trophies. It's just... I almost feel like this might even belong in haven't played in too long to still have an opinion of it, but I think it'll belong in meh for now. Like, I've probably given this game more thought more than anyone has in the last 5 years, so let's just move on to Pikmin 3 Deluxe. I got the pleasure of getting to play this game with my brother. So yes, my brother was able to play this game with me all the way through, and that was honestly what I wanted from Pikmin 3. That was something that I was saying all the time, at least to myself, was that I really wish that you could play the story of Pikmin 3 multiplayer. Story of any Pikmin game, of course, but the story of any Pikmin game multiplayer. I thought that would be so cool, and then they finally let you do it, and it was so awesome. I mean, of course, it's like practically better than in every way than Pikmin 3, already one of my favorite games of all time. And it's just a better version of it. There's more content of it, which was the other thing I really wanted in a Pikmin 3 reboot, is that if they did like maybe not side story specifically, but just a separate campaign. I was literally creating my own fan story thing called Pikmin Vacation that detailed Olimar's adventure through Pikmin 3, and being able to see something like it actually happen. And honestly, it wasn't horrible. Yeah, there were kind of stupid easy missions, but there were some unique ones in there that were pretty cool. And I liked the story of it a bit. And it's cool that they repurposed those things that you couldn't really see in-game. And they even wrote new logs, I think, to replace the secret files. That being said, the controls of Pikmin 3 Wii U are still better. Having the gamepad being your way to send captains on a mission is still better, and Wii Remote Nunchuck still the better way to play. And I don't really like how there's all the eggs they laid out everywhere in the deluxe version. I don't see how that was necessary to leave even on the hardest modes. But I would be a fool to not put Pikmin 3 Deluxe over Pikmin 3. Now, oh my god. There's no contest. This might be my favorite game I've featured. Oh, I just looked down and saw another one, though. This is gonna be a tough one when we get to it. Bug Fables: The Everlasting Sapling. I think I might go on record saying that this is my favorite Paper Mario game. Yeah, I think Paper Mario, the first, and Thousand Year Door are a little overrated, personally. I mean, they're still very great games, and I would even say they're better than the modern trilogy. The original trilogy is, as a whole, better than the modern trilogy, but there's just, I love the story. I love things that are, themed around bugs and seeing how they interact with everything, I guess. And I guess just seeing how they incorporate those things into the world like they did here. My one complaint about it that makes me a little hesitant to put it in S+ tier is that the dark turn that it takes halfway through Chapter 4, and especially starting with Chapter 5, is kind of insane. It almost gives you a little bit of whiplash for this game, and so much whiplash that it affected my brother in indescribable ways. So that's another reason I hesitate to put it in S+ tier, but in the end, I love this game so much. Gameplay-wise, it's so good. Graphically, I admit it's kind of whatever, but music-wise, it's fantastic. But it's mostly the gameplay. I love the gameplay of this game, man. It's crazy that it's, I think it was a year ago now, was the 1.5 update? It was crazy that this thing, 5 years after its release, was still getting updates. I guess one thing I should mention about this game is that I played it on Switch during 2020 when it released on Switch. Oh yeah, I guess I haven't mentioned why it's eligible. It's because it was my second challenge video was on this game, on beating it with only B. And it was actually styled after one of my favorite YouTubers at the time, who is unfortunately retired now, Shy Guy Mask. I think all his videos are still up, so please go watch them. I love them. They were the inspiration for this. I actually think my challenge video on this game might be my best video that I've ever made, ? So, I'd highly recommend you check it out, but that's another reason why it would be in S+. I feel like I've been saying that's another reason. I feel like I need to wrap up with Bug Fables. I love it. Excited to see. I hope it gets a sequel one day, or if it doesn't, then I'm excited to see what the studio does next. Next up, Luigi's Mansion 3DS. Yes, the 3DS remake that came out, which was like, why did this come out? The Switch was out for a while. One thing that people didn't seem to understand is that the Switch did not replace the 3DS, and I don't know why they thought it was going to. It's because they wanted it to, but it didn't. Then people could not get that in their heads. But this was a product, actually, as well as Hey Pikmin, was a product of it being just, why is this stuff still coming out? And frankly, another weird thing about it was its execution was a little lackluster as well. Like, it is a pretty laggy game, which is like, okay, why did you bother trying to make this work on 3DS? I love that the mini-maps on the bottom screen, I think that's really cool. This one almost fits in the haven't played it in too long to still have an opinion, but I think I'm fairly comfortable putting it in C tier. That doesn't mean that I think Luigi's Mansion as a whole is a C tier game. I just think that the remake isn't the best iteration of it, even though it does some cool stuff. I'll put it up here. Maybe it deserves to be my... Actually, yeah, I probably maybe I should move you down here. We'll see. I'm gonna put it like this for now, and then maybe we'll change some stuff. There's just not a lot of C tier, but maybe we'll change stuff around later. Alright, next up, Pokémon X. This is the first Pokémon game I ever played that I had alluded to when talking about Pokémon Moon, and unfortunately, like that game, it's been too long since I've played it that I just don't remember my opinion on it. Unfortunately, since doing the challenge video for this game, I have a fun history with this game. I lost the game in a move once, and so then I re-downloaded it. I rebought it on my 3DS. Then I, of course, did the challenge video that you saw. I need to go back and watch the challenge video to see how that one holds up, but that's why it's eligible, is because I did a challenge video on it. Good old Inkay. Didn't really care much for the Pokemon until the challenge video, but of course it's become iconic to me. Good old my friend Malamar. But yeah, it's just been too long that I just don't have an opinion of it. Next up, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I don't think it is S tier by any means. I think this is a good place for it. In A tier. This was my first Luigi's Mansion game because, as I said, Luigi's Mansion for 3DS. I guess I didn't say that it was my first exposure to the first game, but it was. And, of course, it was kind of lackluster. Maybe if I played the GameCube original, I would like it more. I would definitely say Dark Moon is a better game. I would maybe even rank it over 3, but let's talk about Dark Moon for a bit. Its mission structure is a little strange, how it just yanks you out and then puts you back in. I never really cared for it because a lot of the games... I didn't really have an opinion on it. That's what I mean by it. I didn't really have an opinion on it because that's just how a lot of the games at the time were. So that's just what I was used to, so it was fine. Of course, I like the game a lot, enough to put it in A tier, of course. And trying to remember, because it has been a long time since I've played it. I should go play this game again. It's really weird how the last couple mansions, they just kind of gave up and stopped giving them the same amount of missions. I kind of also don't like how cryptic the gems are. Like, there's not really too much telling you where all the gems are. That's one thing Luigi's Mansion 3 does better, is that it actually tells you, or it gives you an option to tell you where all the gems are. But of course, this game has Polterpup, that's a great one. It has, it's what the heck in Dave & Buster's arcade machine is based on this game, so that's really cool. Yeah, I don't know, I just like it. It almost fits into the haven't played in too long, but no, I would say I like it enough to be an A tier. Luigi's Mansion 3 almost feels like it should belong here, but I'm gonna put it in B tier. Probably here. I would say I like it better than Origami King. There's not much for me to say about it. It's worse than Dark Moon, like even a whole tier worse. I think maybe that's a bit harsh. Maybe you should go here. Because what is my opinion on Luigi's Mansion 3? I think the Luigi stuff is pretty cool, I guess. I like seeing EGAD, I like how they reference the Virtual Boy, all hail the Virtual Boy and all that stuff. I remember thinking it's kind of weird how it just kind of feels like you're just kind of vamping along for a bit as you're going up, and I feel like they could have done more with the hotel theming, that some of the floors just don't feel like they belong in a hotel. It's still fun, of course, and I'd like to go back and try it again to maybe get a more in-depth opinion on it. I almost feel like it's so weird seeing these two miles above the 3DS remake of that. Luigi's Mansion, the first one, would probably rank among these as well, but I don't know. It's been too long, I think, to really... I mean, I have a whole tier literally for it, but you know what? Maybe I should put it in that tier then. It just feels weird for, you know, my whole channel name and all that stuff, but yeah, it's being too difficult. Maybe I'll think about it a little more. Let's move on to a game I have featured a lot on this channel. The Skyward Sword Randomizer. I have done 4 separate seeds of this. The first one was just simply lack of game knowledge. As I said earlier, Link Between Worlds was my first Zelda game, but I of course have Skyward Sword since then. And it was really cool getting to play the randomizer of it. I've played, one thing I don't know if I've shared too much on this channel is that I play a lot of randomizers on my spare time. And so getting a chance to showcase one on this channel was such a cool thing, especially since I didn't really see many people doing Skyward Sword randomizers, so I thought I would throw my hat into the ring. I also love that I created my own tracker with it, and I think I like it a lot. It's annoying that I didn't have a dolphin bar at first, so I had to emulate the controllers in a weird way, but it's just so good. I kind of wish there were a couple more items compared to other Zelda games, and I actually think Skyward Sword is one of my favorite Zeldas in general, so having the Skyward Sword as a randomizer experience, I would probably say, like, right here seems like a good place for it to me. As a randomizer, it's weird that I simply don't have a lot to say about it, despite having so many videos on the channel being dedicated to it, but I really like what they did. You know, there's an HD randomizer for this now, and I did manage to dump my copy of Skyward Sword HD, so maybe I'll do a Let's Play on the HD randomizer at some point. Okay, next up is yet another Pokemon game. The good news is that I actually have an opinion on this one. The bad news... it goes down here. Like, probably down here. Yeah, Pokemon Shining Pearl, I was disappointed by when I played it. Like, I had heard so much good about Generation 4 of Pokemon, and I was so excited to finally get a chance to play it. And then I actually got a chance to play it, and Here, that's the thing about Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, is that they just aren't the best remakes. The chibi art style I don't really have an issue with. It's just the gameplay was just kinda whatever to me. I didn't really care for the Grand Underground stuff, especially since this is the one game where Fossil's a Virgin exclusive, and I wanted the Fossil for the other game on my team. There was a funny moment when I was 1 level short of evolving Drapion and wanting that on my team. So that's why I remember Skorupi and Drapion fondly. And of course it was cool getting to battle Cynthia for the first time. But I don't know, man. I just don't have the most positive of opinions. And honestly, since I'm not putting anything in C tier, and seeing as we're getting close to the end, and I'm looking forward, and I'm not seeing anything here that's gonna probably end up in D tier. Spoiler alert, I guess this will be the last D tier worthy thing. I think I might just abolish D tier as a whole. Here, let me work on that, in fact. There. I don't think there's enough separating C and D tier, so this is kind of like a C-D combined tier. Just games that don't care the most about. So, do I have anything else to say about Shining Pearl? It was cool getting to play the post-game, I guess. I hadn't really played the post-game of too many... Whoa! Hang on, I do want to put Pokemon X up, like, here. Just because I just remembered the post-game of this game. I remembered really enjoying it. I guess that's reason enough to put it at top of B tier. But anyway, back to Shining Pearl. I I don't know what it is about this game. It just wasn't my vibe. Maybe if I went back and played Platinum at some point, I'd enjoy it better. Okay, now for what most of you probably know me for, Miitopia. This was another in a series of challenge videos that I did, but this one for some reason blew up like crazy. What was crazy, especially about it, is that it wasn't even really at its release when it blew up. It blew up like a couple weeks after the fact, which I think means I was leeching off of the success of someone else's Miitopia content. But hey, I won't complain. Finally got me a whole bunch of views. I think my first and only video to crack 200,000 views. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And I'm sorry that I dropped the ball on the challenge video I promised on it. I don't know, I just didn't have the drive to continue it. But anyway, Miitopia, easy S. Sorry, I'm not gonna put it in S+. Should I put it in S+? Ooh, that's really tough for me, actually. I don't know, it's a really fun RPG, really goofy. I hope they make a sequel for it someday. I see that the fact that they're doing a Tomodachi Life sequel is making me hopeful that they'll do a Miitopia sequel at some point. I love the mechanics with the personalities and the food, I guess, is fine, but the jobs that they have are really good. Ah, I love it. And of course, it has a special place in my channel's history. Next up, we're on to another Paper Mario. Color Splash this time, and I'll be honest, I think this is a pretty darn good one. I think it's one of the funniest Mario RPGs. I will say I'm missing a lot of the mechanics from, in fact, I don't even know if it really deserves to be that high. I would say I like it here. Let's try there. I like it a lot. Yes, A tier might seem insane for Color Splash, but I do like Color Splash a lot. I like the whole paint everything mechanic. I feel like it works better than the not bottomless holes. I think the card mechanic could have been a little better. I don't like it quite as much as the sticker mechanic, but this game more than makes up for it with its freaking humor. I love the expert on bridge experts gag, man, and the Goomba that's been waiting all that time just to mess up. It's so fun to play. I've thought of my own sequel idea for it for a while. And fun fact about this one, there's actually like pseudo experience in it too. Like the whole paint, hammer, scrap things that upgrade your max paint capacity so people could stop complaining about there not being experience. The other thing that drags this game down a little for me is that this game kind of drops the ball on is the second half, where after spending so much time to get the first 3 paint stars, it's just you go to the purple area and get the paint stars there, and then you go to the orange area and get the stuff there. Although the orange area stuff is some pretty good stuff, like the one time where if you use an incorrect thing, it actually has a unique animation, and the whole Tangerino Grill as a whole is a pretty unique level. People complain about the combat. I think it's fine. Again, I prefer actually the sticker mechanic, but oh yeah, the 100% process for Color Splash is also awful. Oh my god, how did I talk about Sticker Star without talking about the museum? Oh my god, the museum is so good in that game, man. And Color Splashes is kind of just whatever in comparison. Origami Kings is probably even worse than Color Splashes, but whatever. Color Splash does a lot of things right, though. Mostly in the dialogue department. It is so funny, and that for that reason alone is what makes it ekes out, was what makes it A tier, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, we're on to the last couple here. Oh yeah, we're down to the last 8. We'll get to you shortly. First, we have to talk about Blanc, this tiny little Let's Play I did on this small French-developed indie game that you're supposed to play with 2 players, but I played it by myself. Just like Fireboy and Water Girl all the way back in the day. Yeah, this is a simple little game. It was only 15 bucks. Even then, I thought 15 was a bit extreme, especially if you compare it to the thing right next to it that also costs 15 bucks somehow, but we'll get to that shortly. Blanc was a nice little, fun little thing. It's definitely B tier somewhere in here. Probably here, maybe here. Yeah, that seems right. It's just a fun little story. Tells a good story without dialogue, and it has some fun little puzzles in it. There's not really much to say about the game. It's a pretty short game. Wonder what the speedrun scene is. You know, the couple times I've considered speedrunning a game. This was actually one of them. So I'm curious what that's all about. But yeah, there's really not much to say about it. It's a pretty fun but short little game that is somehow the same price as this. Like, how can you compete with this on a price level? Hollow Knight, I had heard a lot of good things about it, but I simply never played it because it's a Metroidvania, and I wasn't sure if I liked Metroidvanias, so I didn't really want to go out of my way to get it, even though it was only 15 bucks, so in hindsight, I should have done that a long time ago, but... oh boy, I did not know what I was missing out. This one's only like... the Let's Play's only like 2 years old. It was so much fun. I really like its unique, kind of just let you loose, let you figure out what to do, which is, again, really weird when I say that Breath of the Wild I wasn't a fan of because of its whole let you loose thing. And yet, hang on, I think I actually think that. In fact, I probably think that too. Sorry, it might seem weird because I complained about the open world exploration here, but the difference about Hollow Knight is that it's smaller scale than this. I prefer things that are a little smaller scale because I like completing things. I'm so excited that I finally got to get a chance to play this game, and I finally beat the boss rush. I never thought in a million years I'd be able to do something like that. But yeah, fantastic game. I think I mentioned earlier, sorry, it's been like an hour since I last talked about it, but whether I prefer this game or Bug Fables is honestly really up in the air. Really depends on how I feel, whether I feel like more of an RPG or more of a Metroidvania. I've certainly played this game more, I think, but I don't know, I think these are roughly on even playing fields, so despite the fact that I have this over this, it's roughly equal. I'm so glad that I finally got a chance to play it. I think I already said that. Let's just move on before I keep repeating myself. Pikmin 4! Yeah, it's fine. Probably high A tier. Do I like it better than Minecraft? Maybe I like it better than Minecraft. Nah, I'm not sure if I think this is at quite S tier. It's definitely second best Pikmin game for me just because of its sheer amount of content. Again, why do I complain about the exploration here? But again, smaller scale. I was really worried about, like, the new fresh coat of paint they gave it, and I was worried it would be so extremely different, but luckily this game ended up being within the realms of what you'd expect from a Pikmin game. Returned the caves from Pikmin 2, but they weren't randomized anymore, so they could design them better. It's not as trolly either, which is, of course, a good thing. Ochi kind of trivializes things. And this one's kind of weird, I just realized, because I'm still in the process of making the Let's Play, but the reason that it's listed so early is because I actually streamed the game when it came out, so it's listed earlier than you may expect based on when I did the Let's Play. Yeah, I really need to get back to it. Hopefully I've posted a couple of videos about it, but who knows, I might be working on this for the next month, so maybe not. But either way, I do think it is a great game. Ochi does trivialize a little too much, and I think it's weird how they force you to play the battle mode and challenge mode in the story. Also, the battle mode in this is nowhere near Pikmin 3 Bingo Battle, which is weird that I talked about Pikmin 3, didn't talk about Bingo Battle. It was just because I didn't play it much. Loved playing it with, of all people, my mom. Played Bingo Battle with me a lot, had a great time with that. The new Ice Pikmin was very expected. Glow Pikmin was not. I love that they have a tower defense mode, actually. That's pretty sweet. Another reason why it deserves A tier. Alright, next. Link's Awakening DX. The Game Boy Color version that I did a challenge video on. And I think this is my most recent challenge video as well that I did because I did one on the Switch version, so I might as well do one here as well. I don't really have much to say about this game. I think I'd have to go back and play the Game Boy game again. I think it's pretty fun. I do think the Switch version is better. I would probably say Breath of the Wild's better too. Like, this seems like a solid low B tier. Like, I definitely like it more than that. Probably there is a good place for it. Maybe I should go back and play it. Maybe I should do a Let's Play on a game, on a Zelda game again, huh? Try that again ever since trying to Link Between Worlds. Once again, sorry I don't have much to say about it. I guess I like how things are a little faster in this game compared to the Switch version. because the Switch version, like, you have to wait for all the chests and the owl, you know, the owl gag I did. Stuff just took longer, and that's one of the advantages of this being an early game, is that they don't have to load the chests, or they don't have to spend as much time loading the chests. Next is Mario and Luigi Brothership. And I am sorry to say that it's only a B tier game. Which, first of all, I am so happy we got another Mario and Luigi after all this time, after the fate of it was uncertain, after you had to go and ruin everything. That being said, it didn't quite live up to my expectations, mostly because of one simple fact: the game is slow as molasses, man. Oh my god, dude, it is so slow. Like, people complain about Dream Team being slow. That's nothing compared to this, even with a fast forward button, although I guess I didn't really use the fast forward button because I was reading the dialogue. It also does the thing that I absolutely hate in video games, where they do a fake out ending, and they're like, no, this guy was the real villain all along. Psych, you're not actually done with the game, do this now. And I do not like it when games do that. I don't know why. I just don't. But, that's a bit negative overall. Let's think about the positives. I like the bros attacks in this game. I think those are pretty cool, even if they are kind of long-winded. I like the, battle plug system. That's really sweet. The music is kind of average. It's one of the weaker Mario & Luigi game soundtracks, if you ask me, but that's because the Mario & Luigi soundtracks are stellar. Frankly, all Paper Mario RPG, even Super Mario RPG, pretty good soundtrack. All of them, fantastic soundtracks. This one just took a bit to grow on me. You know, it doesn't feel right putting this below. Oops, that doesn't really do well with down there, though, so I think I'll leave it there for now, and we can reassess later. I do like the characters. People complain about the characters being simple. I don't really care about that. It was kind of fun, is how I describe this game. Alright, down to the last couple of them now. Next up is Celeste. This game I had watched a Let's Play on a long time ago, and decided it would be a fun stream game, and I think in the end it really was a fun stream game. And I was so glad I got to finally try this game out, because it is honestly really fun. I love the movement in this game, man. It is some satisfying stuff. I don't think I could ever do, like, any of the really crazy stuff you see people doing, but man, was it great getting to play this game for the first time. I'm not sure. It's one of those games that's kind of a little too difficult for me to, like, do I put it in S+? I almost might. If it does, I would go at the bottom of S+. It's a little difficult for me, but that's kind of the whole point. Trying to think of reasons why I shouldn't put this game in S+, though, and I really can't come up with any. So I think I will put it in S+. I guess it's a little dark. It's not really dark for my liking, it's a little deep for my liking. But that's really just, like, it's a really great story even. But, like, I still do really like the story as well as the gameplay. So yeah, I think it deserves its S+ status. Great indie game. I should really try out more indie games. I mean, look at that. Of the 4 games in S tier, 3 of them are indie games. I really need to play more of those, because those are apparently some of my absolute favorites. Now let's move on to a non-indie game. Donkey Kong Bananza. This game is eligible because I posted my first attempt at a speedrun of this game. That was meant to be a baseline run of it, and then I practiced for a bit and remembered why I never speedran a game in the first place, and then promptly put it down. I'd still like to get my time down to sub 2 hours, but then I joined the Discord and someone said sub 2 hours wasn't impressive. Not to me, just generally, and that kind of lost my motivation for it as well. Let's think about this game outside of the speedrun part. Let's just think about it as a whole, and honestly, it is a fantastic game. Dude, this thing is so cool. It is so fun smashing everything. That's just kind of the whole thing about this game. It's really funny how he says in the movie, I'm more than just a monkey who smashes things, and then in this game he just smashes things. Another thing that's great about it is the movement is really fun. I like a most of the different Bananzas. It has some really good music, of course, but I mean, let's see. Is there a single game on here that doesn't have good music? I would say I can't think of any because, like, I would say maybe I don't care about Minecraft's music all that much, but, like, whatever. It's very hard to make a bad soundtrack. That's irrelevant. Let's just continue gushing about Bananza. Okay, what's keeping it out of S+ for me is that it does do the whole fake-out villain thing. I won't spoil it because it's too new, but there is a fake-out villain is all I'll say. And as I said with Brothership, I really, really don't like it when games do it. And I kind of don't like it that they did it here as well. It just made the game feel like it drags on. That's all that it ever does. It just makes it feel like the game drags on. It's like, it's over psych, it's over psych, it's over psych, and I don't like that. But besides that, the level design is really cool. I like all the different mechanics they introduce on the different layers. And then the post-game is kind of cool. It's really weird because it has like a Champions Road equivalent, but it's one of the easiest kinds of those, if you ask me. Like, maybe they'll even introduce a new one. Oh, you know what? I just remembered that there was DLC for this game. I haven't actually played the game since the DLC came out. So maybe I should go back. I think it was free DLC, so maybe I should go back and try that. Okay, with that, I think we have finally made it to the final game that's eligible to be on this tier list. Game number 41, Hollow Knight Silksong. I know people have been waiting. Whoops, I cannot drag it back down. Whoops, sorry. Obviously, it doesn't belong in this tier. So this game is, obviously, of course, it has to be B tier. Yeah, sorry everyone that's been waiting for 7 years, but I think in the end I have determined that, I mean, if you listen to me on stream, did it really sound like I was having fun with this game? I just wasn't having that much fun with it. I found it too difficult for my skill level. And, like, I obviously did it, I 100%ed it, I even went back and did the, like, beat the game in under 5 hours speedrun achievement. But I don't know how much fun I really had with it. Because unlike the first one, it's just too hard for me. Maybe I just need to play it more. Because here's the thing, I actually really like the movement and stuff in the game. I think it's really fun in that regard. Its story is decent. I like how they make her talk, so you get more story stuff there. I would say I do not like the regular ending, although that's probably just a headcanon of her character getting in the way, but I do really like the true ending. So I'm glad that I stuck it out till I saw that, and that it wasn't spoiled for me. Yeah, there's some cool stuff in here, and I'll probably play randomizers for it when it came out. As I mentioned in the stream, I already bought the PC version just in case a randomizer is ever released. I was actually going to stream it with the PC version, but then I had some troubles, and then bought the Switch version. I think it even says here, Nintendo Switch 2 edition. So yeah, I just kind of plopped it down in B tier. I have to think a little more about where it is exactly. I feel like I was too negative on this game. I do really like it, but let's see, what was the other game I said I was extremely mixed on? Maybe Minion? No, Pikmin 2 probably. So yeah, I would definitely say Silksong and Pikmin 2 in the same tier makes sense to me, which might seem insane to some people, but I simply do think it's that much worse than the first one. That's weird. It's weird putting the first one so much higher than the second one, isn't it? But it's too frustrating. That being said, I am mixed on the game. Because again, I like the characters. Sherma I will die for. There's some really cool mechanics. Again, the movement's better. I don't know, man. Maybe I just need a break from it. So, I've been taking a break. Who knows if I've even played it since recording this and uploading. So, I'm gonna take another look at this tier list and see if I agree with everything. And then I'll wrap it up. Okay, I was gonna be funny and say I think I like Sticker Star actually more than Silksong, but no, I don't think that's real. I don't think I actually think that. I don't know about putting it in A tier though still. Alright, I think I'm happy with this for now. It's not perfect, obviously. I could really think about some other stuff. It probably hasn't even really looked all that different. The big thing is I moved Luigi's Mansion 3 back up here. I think it's better than... Actually... There, I think that's better. Maybe even Why is Pikmin so high? What? Okay, I guess it deserves to be that high. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this tier list at the end of the day. I think it accurately reflects my opinion on most of these games. Like other YouTubers say, the tier it's in is really more important than the ranking within the tier. But I do think I largely agree with the rankings within the tiers. Heck, I might need... Nah, I think I agree with the rankings in the tiers. So, thanks so much for watching. If you have any games that you would like me to play, I think I'm looking for a... I'm either looking for a new stream game at this time, or I've already come up with one. But if you have anything you'd like me to play, please let me know in the comments. And if you just skip to the end to see the final rankings, then you might be confused about some things, but that's why you should have watched the video. So if you have any opinions on this tier list or anything that you would place differently, maybe other than this, because I know why you would place this differently, please let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. Thank you for watching, everyone, and sticking with me for all this time, and here's to another 10 years. Until next time, Luiginoids, goodbye.